Good riddance. Now that that's out of the way, let me just say, Happy New Year, everyone! To commemorate this, I'm gonna try something new. New year, new experiences. That's how it goes. What I'm gonna do, instead of keeping a resolution, because I've never successfully done that, I'm gonna take a page from the Catholic rulebook and start 2017 off by getting some confessions off my chest. I wasn't raised Catholic and I've never done this before, so I guess my first confession of sin is going to be butchering how this process works. My second is that I'm sort of copying this bit from Stephen Colbert, but the twist is that I'm not Catholic, so it's different. It's different. And my third is that I lied earlier. I did keep a New Year's resolution for an entire year a while back, but it was just remembering to floss every day, and I figured that wasn't interesting enough for you all to know. Sin number 4 is that I told you that anyway. Alright, let's get started. Confession number 5. I didn't realize you were supposed to suck on cough drops in order for them to work until I was a senior in high school. My whole life, I thought you just crunched them up like hard candy and or swallowed them whole immediately after putting them in your mouth. The only reason I learned that I was horribly wrong was because my senior year, I was at the state forensics tournament, which, for those who don't know, forensics is competitive acting and speech giving. It has nothing to do with CSI lab type stuff. And while waiting for prelim results, I noticed my voice was starting to feel scratchy, and so I took 3 cough drops to fix that. Come semis and then finals, my voice is completely gone, and I sound like this.
My
friend asked me if I needed some cough drops, and I said I'd already taken some, but they gave me some more anyway. When they saw me eat them whole, they just stared at me like, "Why'd you just swallow them? That's not gonna do anything, you gotta suck on them." Wait, really? And that's how I ruined my chances of competing in the state competition. Nah, just kidding, I was fine, I still medaled. Regardless, it's kind of embarrassing that I didn't learn how to properly eat cough drops earlier than when I did. Again, at a state speech-giving competition. Confession number 6. My college is a 3-hour drive from my hometown, and this time of year, when it gets dark starting at 5:30 in the afternoon, I have to plan when I'm going from place to place so I don't get stuck driving while it's pitch black out. Well, one time I put off leaving home for too long and left to go back to school right before sunset, so by the time I was halfway there, it was as dark as an emo kid thinks his soul is. Part of my route includes driving over these 2 huge lakes in the middle of the countryside on these bridges with barely any railings protecting you from an immediate plunge to your Beetlejuice-style death. It was one thing driving over those during the day, but at night, I was pretty much mentally writing my will and accepting my imminent death before I even got to the first bridge. Fortunately, the one thing that was my saving glory was this one car in front of me that was playing a movie on its little DVD player for the kids to watch while the parents drove. Instead of focusing on my inevitable drowning, I shifted all thoughts towards trying to figure out what movie was playing in the car, because it was too far away to see. I was so invested in trying to figure out the movie, I didn't have time to worry about going over the second bridge, because my inner monologue was nothing but this. Is it Shrek? Or no, maybe it's How to Train Your Dragon? Or actually, no, it might actually be Ferngully. Oh wait, no, why would kids be watching Ferngully? This isn't 1994. Anyway, the sin part of this confession is the fact that I still decided to stalk the car down the highway long after we had gotten past the bridges. I'm sure the dad driving the other car just loved having a mysterious vehicle trailing his family down a semi-empty highway in the middle of the night. And I'm sure he just loved it even more when the car finally drove past him and the person driving it was an awkward college kid just trying to watch Shrek 3 off of his car's DVD player. Confession number 7. I don't wear sunglasses. Even when everyone else in my family wears them, even when it's as bright as a nuclear explosion out, even when my eyes hurt from squinting and looking directly into the sun, I don't wear sunglasses. I don't know, they just hurt my ears when I wear them, I guess. I figure staring at screens for so long during this point in our lives is going to make everyone my age blind one day anyway, so what's the point? Confession number 8. As mentioned before, my commute to and from school is a long time to drive alone. Thusly, I tend to pass the time listening to music, preferably show tunes. Unfortunately, this means that while most people's car conversations involve talking with friends or navigating and etc., my car usually sounds like this. We've got magic to do, just for you. We've got miracle plays to play. Everyone's a little bit racist sometimes. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter. With a click, with a shock, phone will jingle, door will knock, open the latch. I feel you, Joanna. Hopefully no one's ever looked at me on the highway and wondered if they needed to call someone to ensure I was emotionally well enough to drive. Confession 9. Speaking of singing, I also listen to stuff when I'm drawing on my laptop too, and even though I put in headphones so my roommates don't have to hear my jams, they still have to hear me sing along to them regardless. And the thing about my singing is that, being a choir kid in high school, I was used to singing and making up harmonies to songs instead of singing the melodies, and that's still what I do even to this day. Long story short, if my roommates don't already have my made-up harmonies to every Eels, Avalanches, Caravan Palace, Foster the People, Pogo, and Gorillaz song ever, then they got some crazy good earplugs. Confession 10. I've never played a single Legend of Zelda game in my life. Not a one. I'm sure they're fun games, I've just never gotten around to them. That might seem like a weird one to end on, but I figured it'd actually be the most shocking to people, so that's why I did it. Whew, glad to get those off my chest. Happy 2017, everyone! Another thing I thought I'd try out for the new year was rapping instead of singing a song for all you hear. Hopefully to all y'all my ranting parody alright, and if they don't it's because I'm white. Yo.